The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. These are not your friends. I go back into the house just long enough to grab Owen's laptop. I'm not gonna sit there thinking about what grade he said and all the things he seemed to leave out, which are bothering me more. How did he know so much about Owen? Maybe Avid wasn't the only one who they've been following closely for the last year and change. Maybe Grady's nice guy act helping me with Bailey's custody offering advice was so I'd slip up and tell him something Owen wouldn't want him to know. Did I slip up? I don't think so, even as I go back through our conversation. But I'm not gonna risk doing it in the future, not with Grady or with anyone else. I'm going to figure out what's going on with Owen first. I take a left off the docks and head toward my workshop. I need to make a stop first, though, at Owen's friend's house. It's a stop that I'm not particularly eager to make, but if anyone will have insight into what Owen is thinking, into what I might be missing, it's Carl. Carl Conrad, Owen's closest friend in Sausalito, and one of the only people on whom Owen and I disagree. Owen thinks I don't give him a fair shake, and maybe that's true. He's funny and smart and totally embraced me from the minute I arrived in Sausalito. But he also habitually cheats on his wife, Patricia, and I don't like knowing that. Owen doesn't like knowing that either, but he says he's able to separate it out in his mind because Carl has been such a good friend to him. This is how Owen is. He values the first friend he made in Sausalito more than he judges him. I know that's how my husband works. But maybe he hasn't been judging Carl for other reasons. Maybe Owen doesn't judge him because Carl returns the favor by not judging a secret Owen felt safe confiding in Carl. Even if the theory is wrong, I still need to talk to him because Carl's also the only lawyer I know in town. I knock on the front door, but no one answers. Not Carl, not Patty. It's odd because Carl works from home. He likes to be around for his kids, his two young kids, who usually nap at this time. Carl and Patty are sticklers for their children's schedule. Patty lectured me about it during our first night out together. Patty had just celebrated her 28th birthday, which made the lecture all the more enjoyable. If I was still able to have children, that was how she said it, I was gonna have to be careful not to let them rule the roost. I'd have to show them who was in charge. That meant a schedule. That meant, in our case, a 12:30 p.m. nap every day. It's 12:45. If Carl isn't home, why isn't Patty? Except that through the living room blinds, I see that Carl is home. I see him standing there, hiding behind those blinds, waiting for me to go. I knock on the door again, pressing hard on the doorbell. I'm going to ring the doorbell for the rest of the afternoon until he lets me in. Kids' naps be damned. Carl swings the door open. He's holding a beer. His hair is neatly combed. Those are the first indicators that something strange is going on. His hair is usually uncombed, which he thinks makes him look sexy. And there's something in his eyes, a strange mix of agitation and fear and something else I can't name, probably because I'm so shocked that he hid from me. What the hell, Carl? I say, Hannah, you need to go, Carl says. He's angry. Why is he angry? I just need a minute, I say. Not now. I can't talk right now, he says. He moves to close the door, but I hold it open. My force surprises both of us, the door escaping his grasp, opening wider, which is when I see Patty. She stands in the living room doorway, holding her daughter Sarah in her arms, the two of them dressed in matching paisley dresses, their dark hair pulled back into soft braids. The identical attire and haircut only further highlights what Patty wants people to see when they look at Sarah. an equally presentable but smaller version of herself. Behind them, filling up their living room, a dozen parents and toddlers watch a clown make balloon animals. A happy birthday Sarah banner hangs above their heads. It's their daughter's second birthday party. I had totally forgotten about it. Owen and I were surprised to be here celebrating. Now Carl isn't even opening the door. Patty offers a confused wave. Hey there, she says. I wave back. Hi. Carl turns back toward me, his voice controlled but firm. We'll talk later, he says. I forgot, Carl. I'm sorry. I shake my head. I didn't mean to show up during our party. Forget it. Just go. I will, but would you just please step outside and talk to me for a couple minutes? I wouldn't ask, but it's urgent. I think I need a lawyer. Something's happened at the shop. Do you think I don't know that? He says. So why won't you talk to me then? Before he can answer, Patty walks toward us and hands Sarah to Carl. Then she gives her husband a kiss on the cheek. A big show. For him, for me, for the party. Hi, she says, kissing me on the cheek too. Glad you could make it. I keep my voice down. Patty, I'm sorry for walking in on the party, but something's happened to Owen. Carl, Patty says, let's get everyone out back, okay? It's time for ice cream sundaes. She looks at the group and flashes a smile at them. Everyone, head out back with Carl. You too, Mr. Silly, she says to the clown. It's ice cream time. Then, and only then, she turns back toward me. Let's talk up front, yeah? She says. I start to tell her that Carl is really who I need to speak with. Carl, who is walking away with Sarah on his hip, but Patty is pushing me onto the front porch. She closes the thick red door, and I'm on the wrong side of it again. This is when, on the privacy of our porch, Patty turns back on me, eyes blazing, smile gone. How dare you show up here, she says. I forgot about the party. Screw the party, she says. Owen broke Carl's heart. Broke his heart? How? I say. Gee, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with him stealing all our fucking money? What are you talking about? I say. Owen didn't tell you that he convinced us to go in on the shop's IPO? He sold Carl on the software's potential? Sold him on the enormous returns. Failed to mention that software was dysfunctional. Patty, look. So all our money is now tied up in the shop stock. Actually, I should say what's left of our money is tied up in stock, which on my last check was down to 13 cents. Our money was there too. If Owen had known, why would he do that? Maybe he didn't think they'd get caught, or maybe he's a freaking moron. I can't tell you that, she says. But I can promise you that if you don't leave my house right now, I'm calling the cops. I'm not kidding. You're not welcome here. I understand why you're upset with Owen. I do. But Carl may be able to help me find him, and that is the fastest way to get this sorted out. Unless you're here to pay for our kids' college, we have nothing to say to you. I'm not sure what to say to her, but I know I have to say something before she walks back inside. After seeing him in person, after seeing the look in his eyes, I can't shake the feeling that Carl may know something. Patty, can you take a breath here? Breath, please. I say, I'm in the dark here too, just like you. Your husband aided in a $500 million fraud, so I'm not so sure I believe you, she says. But if you're telling me the truth, you're the biggest fool in the world, not seeing who your husband really is. It doesn't seem like the greatest time to tell her that in terms of playing the fool. She isn't avoiding it either. Her husband has been sleeping with his coworker on and off since Patty was pregnant with the child that Mr. Silly is entertaining in the backyard. Maybe we're all fools, one way or another, when it comes to seeing the totality of the people who love us, the people we try to love. Do you really expect me to believe that you didn't know what was going on? She says. Why would I be here looking for answers if I did? I say. She tilts her head, considers. Perhaps that penetrates, or perhaps she realizes she just doesn't care. But her face softens. Go home to Bailey, she says. Just go. She's going to need you. She starts to walk back inside. Then she turns back. Oh, and when you speak to Owen, tell him to go fuck himself. With that, she closes the door.